Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. We have 6 great, wonderful kids that are participating in a first Lego competition for the third year. This is their 3rd year. It's called Food Factor. What we're going to do is they'll do their presentation of what they're going to be presenting to the judges at the competition. And then after that, please ask questions because they need to be primed for question and answer period by the judges. And then we'll go and we'll show you what we're going to be doing in the other aspects of the competition that we're going to on the 10th of December. So anyhow, without further ado, this is Crystal Lambeau. He's the other coach, wonderful coach, thank you. This is Xander's dad. Xander's mom's in the back, Lynn. So anyhow, I think we're ready to go. Without further ado, the Bot Busters.
Hi, we're the Bot Busters. This year we did our presentation on the cucumber becoming a pickle. We invited Jesse from Unbound Pickling to come teach us a bit about the pickling process. He told us there are 6 main journeys of the pickle, but we will only be focusing on the first 3, the ground, harvest, and processing. Here is Elizabeth and Hannah with the ground.
Hi, we are cucumber farmers.
Cucumber farming is pretty simple, except that cucumber beetles and squash vine borers are contaminating our crops.
Cucumber beetles will eat the stems and leaves on younger plants and the buds and petals on more mature plants.
Squash vine borers are a type of moth that lay their eggs at the base of the leaf stalks, and the caterpillars feed inside the stalk.
One way to solve this problem is to use agrochemicals, such as pesticides or fertilizers.
The problem with using agrochemicals and fertilizers is that they can be damaging to the crops.
If we use biotechnology to develop a hybrid seed that can prevent insects from eating the plants, then we will not have to use damaging agrochemicals or fertilizers.
And now here's Emily and Xander with harvesting.
Hi, I'm Xander and this is Emily and we're the engineers in the field. There are basically 2 ways to harvest cucumbers. 1 manually and 2 by machine.
The current machine just rips the plant out and everything out of the ground. Humans then separate out the good pickles.
The first machine we are proposing is to use a robot with a vision system to take out the good and ripe cucumbers and leave the rest to be ground up as compost.
The second machine we are proposing would use a robot with machine vision to do the selecting of a good and ripe cucumber. This robot would be mounted on caterpillar tracks so that it could go right down the row to get the cucumbers without tearing up the plant. This way you can get multiple cucumbers.
We plan to use a leaf blower to move the leaves out of the way so the vision system can see the cucumbers and pick the ripe ones and put them in his basket.
Here's Case with processing.
This step is processing. For this step to go smoothly, you need to be very careful. First, you want to boil the jars for 15 minutes. And you also want to boil the lids the whole time you're pickling. Next, you need to choose your cucumbers. Once you have chosen your cucumbers, you can cut off the brine to make them extra crispy. Then, you add some garlic cloves, dill. We added red pepper flakes, but they're optional, and you can add any other optional item. The cucumber goes in last. You must cook it at 212 degrees for 10 minutes to kill the germs off. Alright, 10 minutes and start. 10 seconds is good. At a party the next night. You want to buy my pickle, friend?
Sure! I'm seeing double!
Pause! That is one of the effects of botulism. That is why you should boil the jars with the pickles in them for 10 minutes, not just 10 seconds. Play.
That is the conclusion to our skit. We have also made pickles of our own that we will share with you if you want to. And here is our wrap.
Making robots is what we like to do.
Hey!
Design and build and program in all the way.
Hey!
Use our skills and always try our best.
Hey!
Find solutions with guidance from our mentors and coaches.
Hey!
Hannah, the E's, Walker, Case, and Xander.
Hey!
We are a team, we all work together.
Hey!
Show great professionalism in everything we do.
Hey!
I'm so happy to be here. How about you? Lego!
Alright, so questions. Mr. Mr.
Okay. Okay. What's the significance of boiling it at 212 degrees? Why do you do that?
I'm not sure.
Kill germs.
Because it killed the germs off.
Okay.
Mr.
Are you gonna look at it? At 212 degrees when you boil something there? Or what happens
It's
at
the-
212?
It's not the boiling point. It is the boiling point.
It is. It is a boiling point. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
How can your proposed machine tell the difference between a ripe cucumber and a non-ripe cucumber?
The vision system.
We'll have programmed
Yeah.
to know which one is right and which one's bad.
Okay.
I don't remember what the words were, but it was to make the pickle somehow better. You cut off, what was the word?
The brine,
Okay, and what is that?
it's the enzyme at the end of the cucumber, and when you cut it off, as the pickles are sitting for 6 weeks, it'll make it more crispy.
So you just cut it off.
Okay.
Okay, each one of you needs to have a question, so
So the first couple weeks of when we started meeting, Lynn graciously showed them how to do the pickling process. So, which thank you very much, Lynn, because at least gave them an idea of how it's done and understand the different steps and how important they are to do certain things. One of the things, Ms. Perry, that you did bring up that we'll probably need to work on is the reason why it's at 212 degrees is not only killing off the bacteria and the germs, but it also lowers the pH level.
Okay.
The pH level plays a big role, a big part in.
okay,
You
Dan
have-
had a question here.
Eric.
Oh yeah, is that pickle actually edible?
Well, cardboard.
It's cardboard.
What's the difference between a kosher pickle and a non-kosher pickle?
One's made of cardboard.
Do you know?
No? I'm not sure if I
Do
want
you
to.
do that?
It sounds kind of scary.
Kosher means it's blessed by a rabbi during processing. Anything that's kosher is.
Okay, then we need to bless our pickle.
Thank you.
Did you also learn the difference between making a dill pickle and a sweet pickle?
Would you not just put the dill in?
I don't know.
I learned that you can pickle meat.
But it's
You
it's
can't.
disgusting.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
don't know.
nasty.
You can pickle almost everything.
Sweet pickle.
So
Yeah.
what are all the things that Jesse pickled? So John got it.
Asparagus, green
Carrots,
beans, carrots,
Cucumbers.
cucumbers.
Can you put his picture back up?
Sweetie, no lips.
Okay.
That's Jesse.
And what does Jesse do?
He is the CEO of Unbound Pickling, which you can get in
New seasons,
New Seasons.
I think.
Yeah, New Seasons Whole Foods. He goes to. He has a day job. He's an IT manager.
Okay.
But by night he rents out a kitchen and does the pickling. He does about what 250 jars a night.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a passion he has for apparently pickling.
So, you know your concept, how you want them to recognize if it's ripe or not ripe. Is that already invented, or is that something that you guys are interested in?
There was a man who invented a machine that took the vines of grapes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's working on it.
Yeah, he's working on
He's
that.
the CEO of Vision Robotics.
So was this one of his products? The Vision. system. Okay.
The other one was, wasn't it?
So that would be what it looked like, I bet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the new machine, are you producing any waste, or are you using that waste? So when you find a rotten pickle and you don't pick it, what are you doing with it?
We just leave it on the ground and use it for compost.
And does that discourage the predators, the pests from coming? Rotten cucumbers? No, I'm just wondering because there's this a lot of the smaller farmers around this area and out in Clackamas are using more organic gardening methods because for the very same reasons that you guys were talking about for the pesticides and stuff. And so I was just wondering if that helped by grinding up all those pickles and letting them lay there to grind up some of those pests too. Does that discourage them? Just wondering.
These are good questions. These are the types of questions we're looking, that are going to be asked.
The people who are judging them will be asking them those kinds of questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Usually the panel of judges they have are experts in the field, so they'll have a lot of people that are in the food industry that will be coming. So.
So did you set up what First Lego is, John, for the adults upstairs and tell them what the purpose is of it and why the kids do it? And
Not really, no.
do you want to?
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to. So, First Lego League was founded by a gentleman that was seeing our youth of this age not having classes of math and science available to them at this age for them to take it in high school and then continue on into college with a engineering degree or biology or whatever it is. There's a gap, a learning gap that this gentleman, Dean Kramer, had seen, and he formed what's called the First Lego League. And actually there's 4 levels. There's the junior Lego League, then there's this level, it's the First Lego Robotics. Then Aaron here, which is Miss Perry's nephew, is in the First Tech Challenge one, which is a bigger robot, and then they have in high school these huge, monstrous robots. And I know some of you have seen them at OMSI, but they're not like battling robots, but they're going and doing certain tasks, but at a larger scale. And what's happening is that we're not, at this age, there's nothing being offered to them in our school system to have them interested in taking those classes in high school for them to continue into college, and this is what's helping with that. Intel is a huge sponsor of this worldwide, especially here in Oregon, and Siemens and Rockwell and a bunch of other high-tech, Fortune 100 companies really are seeing our youth are not going into those types of fields, and we're losing our manufacturing presence in the world because other countries are sending their kids over to our universities, getting those engineering degrees, and then they're going back home. They're not using their education here, and what's happening is that we're not being able to have kids that are able to know this type of using their brain as far as doing the troubleshooting, doing the programming, thinking methodically, being organized, etc. That helps them in those fields of math and science, which you really need to be very methodical in thinking like that. And you'll see that here, and also the social aspect. First Lego is very much about teamwork, and they have people around the competition grading you on your teamwork and the values, the core values that.
You want to get my award?
Oh yes, you need your award. That basically there's some core values. Which Case, do you have those core values still in your little pocket there? Oh, you guys got them there. There's 8 core values, and actually you can see them up here on the board.
Yeah.
But that's what they're going to be judging you on. And to be the last one, which is very important, which should be at the top, is have fun.
Yeah.
Right. They also talked about gracious professionalism. What does that mean? It's being professional not only to your teammates but also to other teams. While this is a competition and we're here to move on, we're also able to assist each other and help each other because we all want to win, but let's win together. And that's what the focus is from a teamwork standpoint. And last year, We got the teamwork award, which was really cool. And we got to present it in front of the entire competition. They not only the skit, but the rap, and we ended up getting the teamwork. And we just fell short of the challenge that would enable us to go to state. So our goal this year is to go to state.
So, John, what are the 3 areas? Just 3 areas it's for?
Yeah, which is teamwork. Actually, there's 4.
Robot design.
There's teamwork, robot design, the skit, and then the challenge. Yeah. So they do for the robot design. They'll take their robot in and go in and sit down with these judges, and they'll ask them, "Why'd you build it this way? How come you didn't use sensors? Because this year we didn't use sensors." So they're going to ask, "Well, why didn't you use sensors? Why did you use wheels instead of tracks?" And then they also look at the programming that they've done. We have to print out the program, and they look at it to see, okay, why did you do it this way? How come you didn't do the ladder or do a loop or whatever? And then they'll need to be able to answer those questions. And then they get graded upon that. And at the end of the day, the judges go and they score it all up, and then we have our awards ceremony. There's a lot of awards being offered this year too, which is really nice. So,
Is there an age bracket that they fall into?
9 to 14. Yeah. So we have, technically, we can go one more year in this level, but I think Chris and I and my dad need to think about maybe we want to go up to the next level. Talking with Aaron here, he's given me some good points so that it may not be it'd probably be a good idea to do it, just because of the complexities that it has, and I think that may be a good thing for us to at least think about when this is done. Let's get through this, and then we'll worry about next year. But that's something that we're looking at there.
The next level still use the Lego
No.
NXT?
Yeah, it still uses the NXT, it just doesn't use Legos as much. It uses metal parts that you can buy online.
And then the upper level is...
For the FRC, it's a kit that you buy, it's $2,500 for the kit.
Yeah.
And it's got servo motors. I mean, it's big time.
Yeah.
It's stuff that can hurt you. It's not like these little things that you can put together. I mean, this is heavy duty. And the robot weighs, I think, like 120 pounds.
Wow.
It's for the FRC one. So it's,
Wonder if you can load it to the truck.
pardon?
Wonder if you can load it to the truck.
Yeah, no kidding. Have to find the lift.
Just drive
But
it.
what's great about this, and I shared with some of the teachers upstairs, is that the kids, when we get to the parking lot, they unload, they go in, and Chris and I and my dad, we can't touch anything. We can't help them. If they walk in and they drop the robot on the floor, we can't do anything. And that's where they get judged. If, like, let's say it gets dropped, how well do they work together to get that robot back together, get it up and running, and go forward? I mean, they're looking at all that. So there's people walking around observing those types of behaviors and how well do you work together as a team. Our first year we did it, we were over at Jones Farm in Hillsboro, Intel, and hey, first year jitters, it was like really rocky. Last year, totally different team dynamic. And this year you can just see, and Chris, you could probably speak to this too, and Dad, is how they've grown in maturity and working more together. So why we're a seasoned team, that's what we're going to be graded upon. And there's there's a good mixture of teams at Hill High next week. So. Any questions on First Lego? All right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You bet.
that
Thanks,
was
Mark.
great.
See ya. You bet.
You guys are doing
See ya,
a
Marimba.
great job.
All right. Do you want to show them what's in here?
Sure.
We have our programs done, but they're not debugged yet. So we're starting that on Saturday. So, but the kids will show you what they've done in there, and please ask questions.
Do you just keep that in your bag? Okay. That's good. Nice job,
I think I blocked it off all the furniture, unfortunately. I think they can get by just to
Well, we have to yeah.
So do you want to explain the what this table represents, Elizabeth, or Walker, or something? Yeah, well, I mean, what's the purpose of the table? What are we doing?
Yeah, but I think it's over.
Well, the purpose of this is you have to you do
Maybe.
then you get swirl that, and then
Maybe if you do what you could
So there's a mission that if you get all these, you get 7 points.
put the screw right here.
Take them all back to base.
You know, because it's still gonna hinge because that
This
slot, you know,
black, dark black outline in place.
you put a screw
So
through
you have
that
to keep
tape.
everything within the base, and if you touch the robot outside of the base, you get a yellow thing taken away from you, and however many of those yellow things that you have, at the end of the mission, you get 5 points for each. So
And that's in addition to the points that you get for completing the task or the mission.
So is that the actual robot right now?
yeah,
So his mission is to go to this mission, go around and
yeah. So like this first one, she's gonna reprogram it to go get this truck thing.
Where's Julie tonight?
She's having
Every
a
team starts with the same.
fundraiser for Rose Haven, which is a Catholic charity that takes care of women who have been thrown out or abused or on the street. Some of them with children. It's typical of getting her pregnant and then
Yes.
So is there a task where
whoever gets
So this
she's all
would be like
There's a number
this,
of them.
and you can get
Sister Kathy has decided that she's going to do something about it, so she's started.
we
you can take it off the back of that and take this off if you wanted to. So the first team to
She's
get
got
it
some
actually
sponsors
gets
and she's finally got a building.
You get that on like a
It's right down on Third and Burnside, right by Old Town.
Yeah.
so it's
She's having a really hard time, because now the
so that mission's called
ones with kids have found her babies, you know, it's, autumn, which is pregnant,
So
and
this one,
they have the baby, they
truck,
say,
we'll show you that in a minute. Fishing, green bacteria, and then hit this
they don't want to
ball
give it
off,
up.
that's
Struggle.
points, and then all those groceries
Get
plus
no help
what
at
you
all,
get
so
from
she's
the
been
truck,
helping, so Julie's holding what's called a
they
diaper.
all get dumped on here, you get 24
So you
points.
come, you can have dinner, desserts, play games, but you have to bring a package of diapers.
So the table, if you haven't figured it out yet, is laid out, is we've got
And
the
the whole
water,
front
the ocean
floor
there,
is
where
full
the
of
fish are.
diapers.
We've
Some
got
of
our
them,
farming community over
when she
there,
invited
farm
to
out.
do there,
We have
diapers showed up in taxi cabs.
dock right there
We have yet
with the
for the
food
last
container and
week
stuff
and a
like
half,
that. We have basically your house,
the whole porch
which
is
is,
full of
they
diapers.
call this a thermometer. And then we
Is this
have-
at your house over here on Reed?
Yeah.
You never knew it was storage.
We can have
But
to
anyhow,
use
there's
the
different themes of the,
Sister
there's
Kathy's gonna
different
be there.
themes of the table that,
And,
like that blue ball,
a little bit,
that's the pollution that's in the water, in the oceans. That yellow ball is the pesticide and all the
She's
stuff,
really-
herbicides and stuff that we were talking about. earlier.
If
It's
Julie
happening.
holds one of those
Basically,
once a
it's
year,
happening. So there's a theme to how the table.
I should have brought the stats into her
The only sad thing
shoulder.
is, those guys,
But,
they don't do anything, they just sit
The
there.
average family goes through from the time
there's no mission
they
there.
have the kids.
Farm animals.
No cow or
We
something?
built those pretty little things and they just sit there.
Wow.
They're under contract.
You are so hard on
We
those.
don't know where the next meeting
Yeah.
is.
Took them out.
2000. And they got no one said,
Yeah,
wash the
because-
diapers. I didn't got a washing machine.
Right.
They get real ticked off. They
You got
wash the
extra.
fountain down there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so they're gonna
The
run
kids had no, so Julie provides bus tickets for them. They have, I don't know how many bus tickets she buys, but that list of
So,
those,
we're
leave
gonna
their
work those out.
babies at those.
Back out the kids.
Because those even find some job. Those have never used any money. Find some job. So they do that, and they can sleep at those haven, or they can sleep right in the showers.
So
That counts as kids.
That's you can put it in your base.
One warm meal a day.
And then what do we show? Want to show now?
So
Do
they
the
will work
the
as
chicken fishy fish.
Little computer.
Yeah, it's a little, we have like a PLC,
So, you know, they work
programmable
with
logic controller.
They can buy something.
No.
You can go to Lego store and buy it.
It helps them, helps them get on their feet.
Oh,
They don't want permanent residence.
Yeah, yeah. But we're not doing
In
that.
fact, if some of them start to say, this is comfortable,
So this is, oh, my God.
Sister Kathy goes on.
So?
Gives
You wanna use
them
the lighter up or something?
state care or something like that. These are the
Oh,
first,
yeah, thanks for the other.
these are ones that are
Reminds
just
me a
having
little
them
bit
and they're trying to become their feet.
Okay, so this,
We used to
oh,
go
She's
down
trying to help. ones that are safety.
Oh, yeah.
Lay the traps. Kind of stay, I still got all of them. Had a couple more because they make money.
So these are the groceries.
Anyway,
That were
so Judy came up with the idea on her own about the diaper party. She's been doing the bus tickets. She's got a number of friends that are also providing bus tickets. Girls have free bus tickets. To go anywhere they want to go for their jobs.
there.
So they need food. Julie's organized a number of grocery stores that bring food in. A number of suppliers bring food. They say, okay, I'll pull this off the shelf because the next time I go back, it's going to be past the state.
Oh, you gotta get the bulk.
I go back next week. You still got it.
No, we just go.
So they go through food so fast, that you just bring it out, dump it off, and they prepare it. They prepare the kitchen.
How expensive you guys design?
The girls also that are there, so it's got to do all
I'm putting this up because
this.
it's
And some of the girls. Prepare the meal,
Six.
dishes, clean up the place, serve it, and all that stuff. Gives them, what they found is that if you give people something, even if there's a limit, they resent it. I just went there, so they didn't know that. They know they didn't earn. They know they
On
didn't deserve it.
Saturday,
So
we're gonna work out
they
the
get very, it eats on them, and pretty soon they figure out, well, you owe it to me, that's why I have it, you owe it to me, so I'm entitled to it. That's what started the entitlement generation. And so they're saying, well, I'm entitled to it, why? Well, because you gave it to me, that must be why I got it. They're trying to break that, so if you want, yep, you had a bad time, you got promised you were gonna marry and all that sort of stuff, and then you left, and now you're a kid. What are you gonna do? Want to get on your own, feed on your own? Yep, okay, here's how you do it. So a lot of them were working as maids, doing the cleanup at the hotels. They need to get there and get back.
groceries.
And
It's
that's what
called
bus system
groceries.
does. Thank goodness our bus system lets them go almost any place now. So they get there back and forth, they don't have a car or anything.
Is this lined up?
So
Yeah, I think so.
it's the ones that basically have, I'm trying to have no hope, but are trying it on their own and not give it.
Yay!
And I don't know I've helped them.
Was that supposed to be the trucks?
It was just supposed to dump
This one gal,
It
she
could
had
fall.
boys.
Well, we
You should
wanted.
move it. You should
But
move
you
it
did
to
really
the
well
side.
on the table.
Yeah. Walking.
And you were
I
trying
don't
to
know how they
get
did it.
You dropped one thing.
She's walking anyway.
Oh, no,
She bought a bed, they delivered the bed,
Is this going to be
and she bought a table, and put the
Walker?
bed
I
table.
want to say that doesn't go here.
Third floor.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And she helped. Little boys underneath it.
No, where does this go?
Got the table set up for her.
So that's,
So
I take it off.
the next day, here comes Julie, pulled the chair in her car.
Doesn't go back to the
He said, no, I'm not taking the chair. Julie says, okay. She said, I got her the restaurant. It cost me $5.
Really?
She says, I'll pay $1 now. I'll pay She said, I'll do that next time.
Oh, we're not using it.
They don't, those kids, they don't want to.
Well, you got to the
This month. It's amazing.
Some of them have sensors on the car. They'll be able to just
The guy was,
I'm still sure that people are as good as they are from New Jersey.
So we'll see you.
Good girl, come back here, lay down. Have a baby.
Oh, we forgot to set things down.
No. Too much going on.
Here. Let's see. Take the load off.
What time is it? Are we meeting on Saturday?
I don't know what they decided. At first I talked in the afternoon, but then the girls were studying. So then they talked about doing it in the morning. 3-ish, 11. What time is Andrew's game? No,
Oh, go! Oh, we missed it. We were trying to get it.
Here, just pull it back, okay?
I know.
Oh, and we need to, we're supposed to be on there. We need to move
On Saturday?
Friday night.
We're trying to go because the kids are supposed to be
Yeah, I
there.
know. I'll get Walker. He's got his clothes laid
Hurry
out.
up, we'll be there. We'll just join the line. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Spend your all time.